Paradigm Song here, with Records of the Grand Historian. I'm back with more clues to what we're looking at these days. Now, I see this number right here, 2360 BCE, and this is listed as the date when Inanna Isis was flying around in her sky chamber, and she spied a man who she suspected to be of divine parenting. I can see that my thing is not focusing. Okay. That there was a woman who had this child, and she set him, the mother was an Entu, which meant she was a, Ent is a word for someone who takes an oath with a god. So she was a priestess of a god, and she had this child and set him in a reed basket and was carried to the gardens tended by Aki, the irrigator, who raised him as a son. So Inanna thought, okay, that means that this is some god's cast-off son. And so she basically chose this person, whose name was Sargon, to be a ruler because, and let me turn the page, because he was kind of an unknown, and there was a lot of political tension between Marduk at the time, who is known as Marduk Ra. I think that means son of Ra, and Ra was Enki. Okay, now, but I'm not sure about Marduk and Ra. Okay, but Sargon was chosen to try to make peace between the political tensions between the two factions of Anunnaki. But Marduk really wasn't happy about this, and Ishtar, Inanna, was on the side of Sargon, and Marduk was not on the side of Sargon because he wanted to rule. He thought it was his time, and he thought it was his turn in the zodiac. Okay. That's what I wanted to bring up, was about Sargon and about the struggle between Inanna Ishtar and Marduk Ra over rulership. So Sargon, of course, is only partially God, so he has a short lifetime. So Inanna needs to deal with, all of his children, and so he has a grandchild called Naram Sin, which means favorite of sin. Now, let's just leave aside the flavor that we have on the word sin these days. Sin seems to be an ancient god who was actually impartial and maybe the first of these Nephilim to care about peace among humanity. Now, so that's interesting that a warring Roman nation who's built on conquest would vilify the name Sin, who, if you go back and read the tablets, Sin was the first earth-born Nephilim who actually cared about peace for the humans and was maybe a decent king. So we just need to reassess the flavor that has been put on here, and this is what I'm talking about with Christians. We need to gently demoralize all these words and look at the facts and try to understand. I'm not taking Zechariah section as fact. I'm just saying that all of these Anunnaki tablets, if they are, I'd love to be able to read them myself, but I can't read this language, and so we need to consider that these are probably more accurate than anything that came through the Nicene Council. Okay, so anyway, this is all about Sargon. This is about Ishtar and Marduk not getting along. And I have a feeling that is still going on today. So we have people in, NBC who worships Ra today. And our corporate America, I think, worships Ra. And I think that Ra might be Zeus, but I'm not sure. And then in Europe and in the early Freemasons, they might have worshipped or been on the side, on the galactic political side of Inanna. and possibly the Washington, D.C. Installation was meant to honor Inanna, and then later generations used it to ridicule her, because I feel like it's not a respectful picture of Inanna. And I'm not on the camp of respecting her. I'm on the camp of let's figure out what's going on here and try to get enough pieces to the puzzle that we can try to figure out what's going on. What do these things mean? Why is there a picture of Inanna Ishtar, Isis, in Washington, D.C.? I just think these are really valid questions. So just trying to get to the bottom of this. So I just found this piece of ancient politics between Mardi-Gras and Sargon's family, his descendants, and Inanna. Okay, here's some pictures of Inanna for your viewing pleasure. She was more of a pleasure goddess. She had dual god DNA. She had Garuda DNA. She could fly. She had wings, and she had the high-winged dragon DNA of her. Actually, now I just read this and I can't remember what her ancestor is, if it's Enlil or Enki. I think my mind is just too blown to hold these details. But anyway, she mostly, you see her ability to turn into a bird. You see her as part harpy. But I do believe she has both ability to turn into a winged dragon or a water serpent or a bird and fly. And then this is her warrior aspect. And doesn't this look a lot like some of the warriors that we see in the movies today, like the Hunger Games, the archery? We see Madonna emulating Inanna Ishtar a lot. And this right here, her little headdress, sorry if this is out of focus, guys. Her headdress looks like Starbucks. And there's another one where that looks like Starbucks. And also the pictures of Shu look like Starbucks. And I think that that mermaid, the Starbucks mermaid, is Nephilim, and she is long-lived, and she's maybe still among us. And maybe the mermaid is Inanna Ishtar. Maybe it's just another picture of Inanna Ishtar. Seems to be everywhere. So just bringing that to you. All right. Hope you guys are having a good day. If you want to get this book, I bought it on Amazon, or maybe I bought it on half.com. If anyone wants to help me with these letters and tell me what this says, I would love to know. I think Timothy might be able to read these letters. And look, we have a chalice right here. So it's just all so interesting. Let's figure out what's going on here, guys. Okay. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.